Well, after a little bit of a holiday hiatus, we're back for Parx on Muddy Mondays in Philadelphia. Terry, how was your holidays?
It was good. Yeah, we had a good time. Family came, and everybody was had a enjoyable time. Had good eats, stuff like that.
Yeah, always good stuff like that. It's always good. Well, kind of short racing card today across the planet. Only, well, at least not across the planet, but here in the States, we have three tracks today, one of which is free over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. That is Mahoning Valley. So it should be interesting to see how all that plays out. There's a ton of cancellations and stuff for the weekend. It's crazy wet weather all across the country. We're going to get a sloppy track again today at Parx, Terry. So, well, hopefully, it's funny that track sometimes the slot means closer, sometimes it means speed. But it means we're going to do race one now and find out where it's at.
Okay, well, it's 6.5 furlongs claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. Purse 21,000 for fillies, 3-year-olds, and or fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, and the profile of a winner for the 6.5 furlong distance does favor stalkers. Still a whole bunch, 35% go wire to wire. There is an inside to outside bias. So inside speed, Terry, in race number one should be a good way to get to the winner's circle. Anybody on the inside with speed?
Well, if you look here, it looks like the one has the most speed, but everybody has some sort of speed. So it's really an anyone's guess race. And then that one has an overlay from 7-2 to 4-1. The 11 has an overlay from 5-2 to 6-1. All of them show par plus numbers, and all but the 2 show C zones.
Yes, indeed. We'll talk a little bit about what all that means in just a minute. Do some trip handicapping here. You see most of these horses, well, pretty balanced race here. The 7 horse, not within 5 lengths of the leader. These guys want to be up front. These want to close. be pressure and like in the middle, and these want to close. So everybody ought to get the kind of race that they want. At the early speed here, it does look like Swan's Island. Paint Me Beautiful. The 3 and the 9 have the best shot with the 3 to the inside, probably the one to bank on getting the lead. Late speed belong to Dark Duchess, but a bunch of them kind of in a tight window here. Top total pace, usually the top 4 horses. That's where your winner is found a little bit more than 70% of the time. Terry, where's your winner found?
I like the number 12 horse, Designated. She has won two out of races out of the last 3 starts. Has a trainer, wins 28% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 7 as my second choice. She won her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 1 Bright Kahuna, yeah. She has won 3 races out of the last 6 starts, and the Real Post is winning a 19% clip. I like the 2 as my long shot, Wildcat Girl. She has a high percentage winning trainer. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters, and she can handle today's distance. No additional bets for me here.
I have the 12. Did run the top last race speed figure, top total pace by 5, lowest level in 10. Bright Kahuna, the 1, should be on the pace, top C zone in the race. The 8 horse, Leftover Sushi, probably don't want any of that. But another that should be forward in a race where most want to be middle in the back. And then finally, Union Bell, the 3 horse, won the last time. Jockey Francisco Martinez rode. After a couple of race hiatus, Francisco returns. Wouldn't be surprised if the track gets upgraded today. It looks kind of sunny and windy there, so it should blow the water out. But just looking at the track, it looks a little deep right there and muddy. So Jessica Paquette telling me that the first race is about ready to get going. In my ear, a couple horses that are unsettled in the gate right now, and they're off and running. Well, if you bet the 9 horse, it looks like you better hope for good things to come because that one got off to a really sluggish start. Bright Kahuna down on the rail has taken the lead. Tough to tell who's to its outside, but it does look like the 8 horses in the mix there. Right now you have the 1, the 2, the 8, and pretty good gap back to the next set of horses. The 1 horse continues to set the tone as they head down the backside. Ran an opening quarter in about 26.3 seconds. 23.6 seconds. They ran 26. That'd be awfully slow. You have the 1 horse. Now the 8 horse is galloping alongside there. Looks like the 2 horse is backing out. Down on the rail, the 7 horse getting into the mix, working kind of hard. They get his way up into there. The 1 and the 8, they continue to be on the pace there. The 13 One of the ones we don't have, it's also in the mix there, Terry. Around the turn they go. There is definitely a lot of water in the track. It'll be interesting to see if the speed holds on or the closers close. The 8-horse, looks like the closers are coming. The 8-horse is going to try to roll up the track there and hold these guys off, but I don't think he's going to get it done. On the outside, we have, I don't know if he's going to get it done. We got somebody flying up on the outside. Remember what I said about that 11-horse getting a tough break? Boom. I don't know who the hell won that race, Terry. I think the 11-horse may have won or the 8-horse may have won. Tough to tell which one got the job done. The track is definitely kind of deep right there.
Sure is.
Looks like they're showing the 11-horse on the screen. Survival Rose. And what's interesting about Survival Rose is along with the 12 co-favorites according to our simulation odds there, Terry. So it looks like anything can go today at Parx on that track, folks.
Yeah. Well, the 12 had plenty of trouble in there. Had to move over. You know, he got pinched off and had to move over. She did. But anyway.
Let's see. I have a new system at Parx today. No horses in the system. We'll look at crypto codes. All right, let us know. Don Johnson, good to see you. How were your holidays? Hope you had fun right in there. Comparatively, even though there's only to win on break coming number 1, crypto code does not always win. Yes, well, planned and came in as it may. Well, you know, the thing is that all the codes in the world and things may not work out the way you want them to work in horse racing. That's just sort of how it goes, right, Mr.
That's
Perry?
right. That's right.
So real quick, when the show is over here on horseracingtoday.net, we'll post all of our notes along with the race replay in the comments or the description section, in YouTube. We'll timestamp every race so you can come back and watch each one at your leisure. We greatly appreciate any interactivity. Comments work. Coming back to watch the show works. Any way that you interact with us helps boost our search engine scores. And when you're at horse racing today, right there, hit that HRT gear right there. Click that button. You'll see right here. This will open up and get yourself a horse racing today hat. We both have the number 1s on. It looks like I'm a little bit buggy today with the internet connection because everybody's home on holiday gobbling up the Wi-Fi, I suppose. Let's move to race number 2, Terry, and talk about the conditions for the second start today at Parx.
All right, it's a 6 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
To get that second win, stalkers do well. 30% of the time they go wire to wire. There's an inside to outside bias, but we saw right there in the opener, maybe with all the slop on the track, it is backwards Monday because the outside closers did fairly well in there, Terry. So if speed is going to matter in the second race, any particular horse stand out as an early front runner type?
Well, there's 2 that's got the most speed in there, and they're pretty close to each other, that 9 and that 8. So I think they may go head-to-head to that quarter pole. The 2 has an overlay of 5-2 to 6-1, and the 3 has an overlay from 3-2 to about 9-2. And then all but the 7, 8, 10 have par plus numbers. And all but the 1 have, all of them have C zones.
So real quick, when we look at our percent chance to do the lead, we do 1,000 simulations, and based upon our projected pace, we tell you what percent of the time the horse had the lead. And then we look at that early pace and we compare it to the horse's best performances. We want to know if the horse will be in its comfort zone, hence C zone, because comfort doesn't fit in there without really stretching that cell out a lot. So 85% of the time, today's race will look a lot like Swan Island's best performances. Over here on the Q30, James Quirin has created a thing called Quirin Points. Anytime somebody has 30% of the Quirin Points or more, they're worthy of your consideration. Of course, this time of year, we want stuff that's on sale. So in our 1,000 simulations, we want to see if any horses offer up odds that we hope are higher at post time than our simulation odds. And then par plus in our simulations, how many times out of 1,000, so here's Swan's Island, 480 times produced a speed figure equal to or above par to win at this level. So that's what all of those numbers mean, Terry. So with all that in mind, we went through, did we go through who's going to get the lead here?
Yeah, we did.
All right, cool. So let's talk about our race shape in race number 2. I had the wrong race up in race number 1. That explains it. So we already know what's going to happen in race number 2. These horses want to be forward. This horses want to be back. The 7 horse, 5-star Fran. That one hasn't. Buddy, we did race. What happens if we did race number 1? We've been better off. Let's see. Total pace, 12-1. The 11 would have been right there. The 8-3. Well, right there, your trifecta was in that top 5 there, Terry, and they all kind of match. But in any case, we know what's going to happen in race 2. We talked about that already. We don't know what our picks are all about, so let's talk about those.
All right. Well, I like number 9, Paint Me Beautiful. She ran second versus Simon in her last race. Her early speed running style helps her chances, so she should improve at this shorter distance, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like number 3, Swan's Island. Ran second versus Similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning jockey. Mary Chill, the one is my third choice. She has finished in the money in her last 3 races. The Rail Post winning at a 19% clip. And number 2, Dark Duchess is my long shot. She finished third in her versus Similar last race. I'm going to play the very first Don Johnson Miami Valley's pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 9 with the 3, 5, 6, 8 with the 9, 10 and the 6, 9. That's, I believe, a $48 ticket.
I think I screwed up my ticket. I'm looking at the numbers here, wondering why they're so different than yours. And I skipped the race in there, Terry. All right. So we're going to make sure we get mine right here. And then we'll have a better opportunity to make pick 4 that actually makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we want. All right. So let me put this in here. 2, 3. I don't know why sometimes I skip a race in doing my pick 4s, but it happens sometimes. All right, so I like the 3 horse in here. Swan's Island as my top choice. Did run better early fractions last thought. That's a pretty good sign. The horse will be better this time. It added up to the top last race speed figure, 6 points better than the next closest horse, and ran at this level last time out and just sort of missed. Should improve today. Paint Me Beautiful, the 9 horse, that one wants to be forward. That's where this one should be today. So you see some top early speed number. I don't know, based upon what we saw in that first race, if that's going to be helpful or not. Dark Duchess, the 2 horse, the 3rd pick for me, should be better in the second start after layoff and in the second trip around the Parx track after track dropping. And then number 1, Mary Chill, 3rd up after a layoff, rides the hot rail following much better late speed. And the way we saw the first race play out, where the 11 horse did win off the late speed, that might be the way to the winner's circle. I'm going to do a pick 4, 2, 3, 9, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. I'm going to add another one in here. So I'll just add in the 1 horse in the opening leg because of the. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 9, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and then the 2, 3, 5, and 6. For my pick 4, which I do believe cost $48. A lot of confusion with the early pick 4 there for me, Terry. Hopefully I wasn't confused in the picks. But we won't be confused about the conditions for the race 3 because they spell them out for us.
That's right. It's a 7 furlong. It's a maiden $50,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds.
Pretty simple right there. Kind of hard to get too confused on there. Looks like he'll pass on today because the track is way off. Going to China Sea. You're going to really go to China? Good luck with that. Hello, Nelson Mendoza. How are you today? Thank you for joining us. No matter where you are in the world today, let us know about it in the comments section. If you have some picks at a track where it's not so sloppy, perhaps the running might be a little bit more true to form, please fill us in on that. No matter where in the world, we'll take a winner no matter where it is. 7 furlongs, the profile of a winner so far, Terry. Stalkers again. 23% go wire to wire. And once again, we find inside is better than outside. So in race number 3, do we have any inside speed?
Well, the 3 and the outside horse have the most speed, the 3 and an 8. So they could go head to head to that quarter pole. Just depends on who gets the best break. The 1 has an overlay from 5-1 to 8-1. The 4 has an overlay from 7-1 to 12-1. The only par plus number is the 1, and it's pretty low. The 1, 2, 3, and 8 have the speed in here, and also the 1, 2, 3, and 8 have the only comfort zone number, with the 3 having a 33% Q30.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this race is we have a lot of first-time starters in this one, so kind of tough to tell with the 4, 5, 6, and 7. Otherwise, the other ones want to stretch out. The 8 wants the lead. The 3 doesn't need the lead. So the way it stacks up, it looks like the 3 does have the most early speed, but we're all within 5 points of each other. 5 points equates to roughly 1 length. So could be a tight start. At the end of the race, of the experienced horses, the 3 horse does have the most late speed. So should be the one that's close to the pace, does have the most late speed. And by far of the experienced horses, the best numbers in there. The question is, what do the first timers bring to the table, Terry? And looks like you're going to go with the horse with a little bit of racing experience.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the experienced one. The 3, Ron's Gone Wrong. He ran third versus Simmer in his last race and has the highest last speed rating. Then I'm going to go with the first-time starter Harrigan, the 6. Has some good workouts in advance of his debut race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. Then I'm going to go with 8, Centaur Central. He ran fourth in his last race as the favorite, but he has a trainer who wins 28% of the races when bringing the favorite back to race again. He has a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days been in the money 3 out of 5 starts with 2 wins. And then I like the number 5 horse, my long shot, Very Bad Guy. He is also a first-time starter whose dam has 2 winners from 3 starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me here.
Yeah, I have to delete this bet because I went over by about $6 or so. So I'm going to have 90, I have $10 left. So I'm just going to do a $5 exacta box with the 5 and the 6. All right. The reason I'm doing that, Terry, is because none of the horses that have experience have hit the board in terms of producing a par race. So I'm going to put the 2 first-time starters on top. That's the 5 and the 6. Then the 3 horse, Ron's Gone Wrong. If that one can improve in the second start in its career, might be enough, especially if it can take its early speed and hang on to the wire. And then finally, Centaur Central, wide trip in its last, most experienced horse in the race. That should do well. So I had $10 left. So I'm going to do is a $1 exacta box with 3, 5, and 6, Terry, because I do think the 3 with its experience might factor in here. I don't want it to finish second in between the 5 and the 6 and blow up my exacta box. Race number 4 is next on our list of things to do besides just editing. All right, Terry, what's going on here?
Well, we're going to go at 6.5 furlongs, claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $20,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which did not want to race since September 30th.
And the opening race was 6.5 furlongs. Prior to today, we did see that speed is really the best way to win. 35% of the time, the horse that gets the lead keeps the lead and wins wire to wire. Inside's better than outside, but in the opener, we saw a horse come from way off the pace, although the 8 almost hung on the front. So maybe just the best horse will win, Terry. And if you're looking for the best horse early, which one's likely to get the lead?
Well, there's 3 of them that are pretty close in speed. That 4, 8, and 10 have the most speed in here compared to the others. They could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. The 2 has an overlay from 9 to 2 to 5 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 5 to 1. And the 9 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 4 to 1. All but the 1, 5, and 6 have par plus numbers, and all but the 1 has a season.
And our race shape for the 4th race is going to let us know that, well, pretty balanced race in here. Most of the horses middle backs, so under ordinary circumstances, you probably want to be someone that's a little bit more forward. 6 whips, Jabology. Well, there's a lot of horses in here within 4 points, so I would probably look at the inside horses. They're probably going to get the best shot to get the lead early, but not necessarily that's where you want to be based upon what we saw in the opener today. Turns and conditions, a little bit quicker than the rest, but that's red up front, so that one could be all the way in the back. Really try to make a worst to first charge as the race comes to a close. Our top total 4 horses in here, the 9, the 2, the 8, and the 10. Again, probably 7 out of 10 times. That's where the winner will be. Terry, where will the winner be in your picks?
Well, I like the 9, Looking Super. He has finished in the money in last 3 races. Won 1 of those starts, has the highest last speed rating, and a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like the number 10, 6 Whips. He finished in the money in 4 out of his 5 races, winning 2 of the starts, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Geologist, the 3 is my 3rd choice, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. His early speed running style will help his chances, and his best start speed is fast among today's starters. Then I like the 7, Turns and Condition. as the long shot. He drops in class, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play another Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9 with the 1, 4, 8 with the 7. I think that's a $45 ticket.
I believe the 9-horse Looking Super might be looking super when this race is over. Top pick for the both of us. Top last race speed figure, 8 points better than the next closest horse. So everybody's got a lot of work to do, or this one's got to come back down. This one also was better across the board with all its pace numbers last time out and early speed, and going to take a small drop in class here. The guys got game. These guys got game. Maybe we should rename the show to the 8-horse. Simulation favorite, one of them anyway, likes to win at the distance 5 times out. 3 of them were winners, one of the sim favorites. Number 10, 6 Whips, drops in class and catches a weight break today. And then finally, number 2, JW's Third Mischi, whatever that is, 1, 2 in a row, and potentially the most upside in the race. I am going to go with the 8, 9, with the 2, 3, 5, 6, with the 1, 2, 4, 8, with the 5, 7, and 8. Let me just make sure that I got these all right. Yeah, I do have them right, thankfully. So I sometimes, again, have some issue putting my horses in the right order in my pick 4s. Race 5 is next on our order of things to do, Terry. So what are they racing for here?
It's another 7 furlongs race. It's maiden race, $50,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds.
For 2-year-old maidens to get that first victory at 7 furlongs, that quirky distance where they're going to start all the way in the back here, make their way around that turn and come home. Is it a sprint? Is it a route? Well, what we do know so far is that stalkers do good, and like we've talked about earlier, and seemingly endlessly, inside better than outside. So some early speed on the inside, Terry, might be the way to get the first W. Any of them fit that bill?
Well, there's 2 that's sort of in the middle, from the middle to the inside is 3 and the 6, and they have exactly the same speed percentage. The 1 has an overlay from 6 to 1 to 2 to 1, to 8-1, and the 2 has an overlay from 9 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from even money to 3 to 1. And then the 1 and the 3 have the 1, 3, and 7 have par plus numbers. And then let's see, 6 and 9 have the best C zones. And then the 3 and the 6 have really nice Q30s.
Yeah, so those 2 might get out to the front and just stay there. And that might be their game plan for today. You do see the 6-horse does want to show early speed. 3 horses, a pressure type. 1 and 7 closed. 8, 9, and 11 so far in their careers, not within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. And the 2 and the 5, well, today is their debut. Early on of the experienced horses, Mischief Maxi and Our Dream Girl. Those 2 are the quickest, about a little bit more than about a length quicker than the rest of the field. The 1 could make them work, though, on the inside. As the race winds down and they come home, Our Daydreaming Girl has the most late speed 11 horse, the closer. Has not been within 5 lengths of the winner so far, but with that late speed today, 5-point advantage over the next, could find its way to the back of the exactas or superfectas, or be the second 11 to win on the day. Top total pace horse here of the experienced one is the 3, Our Daydreaming Girl. That one's 11 points better than the next closest up. So if an experienced horse is going to win, looks like that 3 horse has got a great chance. Terry, what do you think?
I like the 9 Spunderella. She finished 3rd in her last race, which is the high percentage winning jockey. Has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 28% of the starts when taking a horse from a maiden claiming to a maiden race. Then I like the 6 Mischief Maxi. Ran 2nd versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then 3 Our Daydreaming Girl. My 3rd choice, ran 3rd versus in her last race as a favorite, but she has a trainer, wins 23% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. Her best start speed is fast among today's starters. And in addition to that, she has a high percentage winning jockey. For Elsie is the 8 is my long shot, ran 3rd versus similar in her last race and can improve while returning to a sprint. No additional bets for me here.
Well, I'm going to go with Our Daydreaming Girl. This one is the only experienced horse in the race with a par effort, and we saw the total pace was way better than the rest of the experienced horses. And then after that, I'm going to go with the 2 first-time starters, the 5 horse, Patient Fi, whatever. This gets 3 out of 3 points on my 5 points on my 3-point scale. And then number 2, Marlowe, the November 27th work suggests that this other first-timer has plenty of talent. And then 6 horse, Mischief Maxi, this one, speed and fade last time out, should have more stamina in the second start after a layoff. And it is the lone E-horse in the race. So if it gets the lead, look out. It might not be able to chase that one down. $5 exact key box. I'm going to put that 3 horse, Our Daydreaming Girl, on top of the 2, the 5, and the 6, and hopefully get some nice prices in there and multiply it by 5. That would be a great way to go. Don Johnson, hit that button like it's free. It is free, right? The like button, Terry. And along with hitting the like button, what else should you do if you want to make sure you catch our Parx show tomorrow? A lot of racing on New Year's Day. I haven't quite figured out. Terry and I will talk about what we're going to do on New Year's Day and what we're going to do. I know on Thursday we'll do Gulfstream. Friday, I think we're going to do Hong Kong. Tom says they got a lot of races to start the new year, so we'll do that for 4 on Friday. If you don't want to miss any of that, Terry, there's a couple of wise things that you can do.
Well, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that little bell so it notifies you about all these great programs coming up. Go down, copy the link, share it with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. Then go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Gives us thumbs up and likes. That helps us out quite a bit. And then also keep these comments coming and picks on during the shows because we love to see them, and they also help us out quite a bit. So,
yes, indeed. Any kind of interactivity, as I mentioned before, boosts our search engine scores. So when people go to Google or they go to YouTube or they go to Facebook or X, wherever it is that you're watching, you type in horse racing, we're more likely to pop to the top, which is where we would like to be. Well, hopefully, we'll be celebrating a winner in race number 6. Terry, a series of stakes races. I didn't see them when I looked through the stakes races for today, but nonetheless, here they are. What's happening in the 6th race?
Well, it's a 7 furlong race, and it's a purse of $100,000. I just had a little tongue tie there. Anyway, it's for registered Pennsylvania bred 2-year-olds, which are also Pennsylvania bred sired and are Pennsylvania sired and Pennsylvania bred stallion series registered with BHBA. What a mouthful. Anyway, there you go.
Yes. When you get Secret Santa, you hope that Terry is the one that gets your box, because this is how much he puts into your gifts, $100,000. He buys the horses. So 7 furlongs. Again, we talked about that tweener distance where they got to run full length of the backside there. It does favor stalkers. 23% of the time they go wire to wire. There's the inside to outside bias. So in the stakes race, Terry, in race number, race number 6, right?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Who has the best chance to get to the lead?
Well, as you can see there, they all show some speed, quite a bit of speed, and there's several of them pretty close. So I think it's anyone's guess race. The one has an overlay from 3 to 2 to 8 to 5. The 8 has an overlay from 8 to 5 to 5 to 2. 1, 8, 6, and 7 have the par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones. And the 5 and the 8 show really nice Q30s.
And a race shape. Well, look at this. Everybody middle back, Terry. 2, 5, and 6, not within 5 lengths of the winner so far in this stakes race. So, maybe some horses going to collect a few dollars that they might not otherwise collect versus better competition. Early on, if that's the way to the winner's circle, Ballad of Warrior, a little bit quicker than the couple to its inside. Pretty competitive, though, in those early pace numbers. I would give the edge again to the inside horses because they can control where they are heading into the turn. But there's that long backside. So tough to tell. I don't know that post position really matters there. Ballad of Warrior, once again, finding itself at the top of the list with the most late speed. That means it should be at the top of our list of our total pace. Indeed, it is 9 points clear of Fenton Warrior. If all things go according to pace, as our good friend Chris Parmalu says, 8 horse should win this race by about 1 3/4. Terry, what do you think?
Well, I like in this race the one, Fenton Forever. He won his debut race. The Rail Post is winning an 18% clip, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then I like the 8 Ballad of Warrior. He has the highest last speed rating. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. They added blinkers today to keep his mind on business, and he has a high percentage winning jockey, reeling and dealing. The 4 is my third choice. Ran second in his last start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 7, Dr. Lou, my long shot, won his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 26% of the maiden races he has a horse running in. No additional bets for me here.
I went with Fenton More Forever too, because if this one makes its typical second race improvement for horses, would put him above par. It would be the only horse that got above par so far anyway for this level. Ballad Warrior, that one does have that top total pace that we saw, much better than everybody else so far. I don't know that the outside post helps though. Number 4, Reelin' and Dealin', the 4 horse cutting back in distance today, should help with its early speed. But then I went with Cool Million, the 2 horse. That's something everybody wants to have in their bank account. A Cool Million. I expect more in its second career effort and was the 8-5 favorite in its debut. No bets for me. They're loading into the gates for race number 2. So let's rewind back to race number 2, Terry. Looking at it right now, it looks like the 3 horse is your favorite at 9-5. Big drop from the 4-5, 9-2 morning line. Still a little bit of value though compared to our 3-2 sim. Looks like the 2 horse, which we have at 5-2. Some value there at 5-1. Any other value in there, Terry? Doesn't really look like there's much other value in there. But who knows with the sloppy, muddy track over there? Anything can happen, right?
I think it's pretty wide open. So
yeah, I think all the races will prove to be that way today.
Most of them,
Just hoping to collect maybe a couple of winners along the way that pay for the $100 budget that we have on any given day. The Benny and the Bets, as we call it. So it looks like just a couple of more horses to load for race number 2. And then we'll work on the late pick 4 at Parx as well today. Again, tomorrow, hopefully the sun dries things out. But it was pretty rainy here yesterday, so I suspect a lot of that will find its way to the East Coast tomorrow. Well, the 9 horse has sauntered out towards the front, but a lot of horses pushing. Boy, somebody on there really wants to lead and has just said goodbye to everybody else. 6 horse, if you bet that one, good luck. That one, I don't think it wanted a race today. Looks like the 8 horse right now, Far Too Foxy. The one we said would get to the lead is indeed on the lead. That one's out on the lead at 40-1, Terry, trying to steal this race. They head into the turn. And it looks like the 3 horse is going to struggle to get that win there. He's going straight backwards. The 9 horse moving to the inside. Looks like it's got a good chance, but that 2 on the outside, Terry, that one's making a good, strong, bold move. I think that one's going to be your winner right in there, Terry. It's run away from everybody, as they say in Philadelphia. Although the 4 horse might have something to say about this. The 1 horse, it looks like it wants to get in the mix too. But they ain't catching that 2 horse, I don't suspect, Terry. I don't know, though. If 5 horses coming aggressively, who the hell knows? Because the 2 horse is tiring badly. Wait a minute. It looks like it's going to be the 1-5-2 maybe. I'm glad I added the 1 at the end.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, went off at 2-1. We both would have been better off for our pick 4 had the 2 come home though.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like, folks, that speed just not going to hold up today, folks. So perhaps take a look when you come back at our races later on the day when we timestamp everything in the description on YouTube. Come back maybe and look at this part of the race and see which one of these horses is going to show the most late speed, because we're seeing that late speed really come in there. And who won? The 1 horse did show some late speed. I'm surprised the 2 horse couldn't hang in there.
Yeah, the two did pretty well though. He only got beat a quarter of the length. So
yeah, well, we saw that in the opener too.
Yeah, he's running kind of sideways when he first comes into the stretch there, head turned to the right. And then now the jockey got him straightened back out. But, with this sloppy track, it looks like that's having a little effect on that horse. But anyway, 1 wins, 2 runs second, 5 runs third. Oh, maybe like 5 got second. Huh?
It looks like to me like the outside is better than the rail. So, in any race, what you usually see is when the horse takes the lead and cuts that turn, they want to cut and then get to that rail as fast as they can, right? So they have the shortest line to the finish line. But it looks to me like maybe the water's puddling over next to the rail and the horses are tiring down as they're on the inside. So it looks to me like outside. I wouldn't be surprised to see the horses that take the lead not go down to the rail and just stay mid-track and out, maybe as the day progresses, right? Who won in Philadelphia? Well, Kajal, who won, Terry? The one horse won, I think. Yes,
Very chill. Very chill one.
Yes. And Private Ross was big on that one. And then he liked the odds change there. He called it. Indeed, he called it. All right, Terry, well, let's call race number 7 in terms of another stakes race in there.
Yeah, it's a 7 furlong. It's a Parx Future Stars Filly Division stakes race. Purse $75,000 for 2-year-old fillies.
That 5 horse is 50-1, Terry. Oof. I got a feeling some bombs are coming home today. Well, for 7 furlongs, it's probably the 3rd or 4th time today they're going to run that. Inside's better than outside. Typically, you want speed, but so far in this new week at Parx on the mud, looks like you want closers, Terry. Well, the program usually focuses on speed early on, so who has it?
Well, the 8 shows the most speed, but there's 2 or 3 other horses that are pretty close to it. So it's a who knows race again. The 8 has the overlay from 4-1 to 9-2. All but the 2 has a par plus number, and all but the 4 and 8 have C zones.
Our race shape. Well, let's talk about the closers. Forget the up front running types, right? 7 and 8 want to be up front. This apparently is where you want to be, the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the inside horses, just toss those 2 outside guys out there. If speed is the way, it does look like the 8 horse Beyond Belief is a little bit faster than Belly Bottoms, but maybe not. Late speed, well, so far this is where the races have been won. Beyond Belief has the most of that, although the same 3 horses show up there. I'd imagine the same 3 horses are going to show up here. Indeed, they do. And they're about 9 points better than the rest. So maybe the 3, the 7, and the 8, they run around the track on the front together. Terry, what do you think?
Well, I like the 7 as my pick of the day at Parx. Maximus Angelus. She won her last race by 12 lengths at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 21% of the non-graded stakes that she has a horse running in, and she has a bullet 4 furlong workout on December 20th. Then I like the 5 Volleyball Princess. She won her debut race. She has a high percentage winning jockey and a bullet workout on December 20th at 5 furlongs. Bell Bottoms, the 3 is my 3rd choice. Won 2 races in a row, goes for a hat trick now. Has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like the 8 Beyond Belief, finished 3rd in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet a pick 4. I'm going to use the 5-7, 1-7-8 with the 2-7-10 with the 5-6, 8, 10, 11, $45 cost. And I'm going to bet $30 to win on number 7, $5 exacta box 357, $10 exacta 7 on top with the 358, and then I'm going to play a $5 daily double 7 with the 7-8. There you go.
I'm going to start with where you ended off, the 8 horse Beyond Belief. I think this race is kind of open. This one should be close to the front and 3rd at this level out, so really not a whole lot of improvement required. Volleyball Princess, the 5 horse next on my list. 2nd race improvement would be enough, but has some really good workouts in between, indicating a better start today. Maximus Angelicus, Terry's best bet of the day. Crazy fast workout since winning her last. Should be forward. I don't really know if that's the place to be today. So all of these 3 horses are going to be forward, along with Belly Bottoms, the 3 horse in there. One huge last out. I'm just not so sure about Mahoning Valley to Parx. Terry, is that a track rise? Is that flat? Track drop? Where would you put that?
I think it's a track rise.
Yeah, I think it's a track drop race. Thank you, too, for joining us today, Kajal. We appreciate it. Looking at race number, my pick 4 is going to go 5-7-8, 4-7-8, 7, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. Mine's a $45 ticket too, Terry. Hopefully it's a winning ticket. Doesn't matter what it costs, it matters what it pays. That's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah.
Race 8, Terry, 3 races to go on this Muddy Monday. Another stakes race here.
It is. It's the misbehavior race. It's a $100,000 purse, and it's for registered Pennsylvania-bred 2-year-old fillies, which are also Pennsylvania-sired and are Pennsylvania-sired, Pennsylvania-bred stallion series registered with the PHBA.
Pennsylvania Horse Racing Board Authority, maybe something like that. Tough to tell. For race number 7 furlongs, again, you know, it's a refrain of a song over and over and over again. Inside speed, better than outside speed. 23% of the time the horses go wire to wire. You do want to usually be middle forward, but that muddy track today seems to be favoring closers, Terry. So with that in mind, if you want to bet speed, looks like 3 primary players.
Yeah, the 1, 4, and that 2 have the most speed, but the 1 and 4 have the most. I think they may go head to head to that quarter pole. The 2 has an overlay 3-1 to 9-2. The 4 has an overlay from 3-2 to 6-1. 7 has an overlay from 7-2 to 5-1. 4, 2, and 7 have the par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Our shape for this race shows us the 1 and 2 on the lead. Everybody else middle back, so maybe speed can hold up. The 5 and the 9 so far not been sniffing anywhere near the winner's circle. The early speed belongs to the 4 horse. Double Airo, not the place to be, I guess, today. Also, late speed belongs to, well, Double Airo again. That's about a full length advantage over everybody else. And the thing is, he doesn't need the lead because he's a closer. So we call those left arrow horses. He has the top total pace in here, too. 14 points better than the next closest horse. I mean, this horse should be close to the pace and have a good chance to run him down. You left him off your ticket, Terry, entirely. You went another way. Why?
I went with 8, Honorable Win. She returns to Park Racing, where she won her debut race after running second on an all-weather track in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like 7, Little Cocoa Bean. She won her debut race, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 33% of the maiden races that he has a horse running in. The 1 is my third choice. She ran second in her last race, and the rail post went an 18% clip. 2 is my long shot. Angel of Hope ran second in her last race, and her best third speed is fastest among today's starters. I have no additional bets as I'm out of money.
Well, the 4 horse for me didn't make your ticket, but made the top of mine. Double Airo, top last race speed figure, was 10 points better than the next closest horse. All the other horses got to come up, or that one's got to come down. Same story for the top total pace, 14 points better than the next closest horse. Everybody else got to come up, or that one's got to come down, and it's the only horse in the race so far to hit par. Oh, Little Cocoa Bean, the 7 horse. That one, Terry, won its debut. Second race improvement would put that one's speed figure above par. Honorable Win, the 8 horse. 2 races so far in its career, both at this level, and just a half a length away from taking home the top prize for the both of them. And then finally, 1 Tudox Dahlia. I hope I got that right. Probably the pace setter in here, especially as she can run back a couple of races, but I'm not so sure that's the place to be after the first 2 races at Parx today. I'm going to do a $5 exact key box, the 4 over the 1, 7, and 8 to spend some of my money with that horse with some decided speed and pace advantages over the rest of the field. I'm a bit concerned that it didn't make Terry's ticket or any of its bets.
Actually, York wants to know why I didn't take it, and it's actually my first alternate. I was between it and that second, my long shot as the next horse. So it did look pretty good. It just pretty, when you only get to pick 4 horses, sometimes it gets down to that. So.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes sometimes. Don Johnson's right. Hit that like button if you're watching. If you're following us on Twitter today, or X, I keep calling it Twitter. It's kind of like the old people when I was growing up. My grandparents in the microwave could never seem to get the time to stop blinking because they couldn't figure it out, or the voice. What was it called? Remember when people would call, leave a message? What were those things called, Terry? Voice message box? I don't remember what the hell they were called. But anyway, funny how that cycle works. Now the kids are teaching us what to do with our cell phones. Hopefully we know what to do in race number 9, Terry. Another 7 furlong, another stakes race. What's it all about?
Okay, it's a Future Stars. It's a $75,000 purse for 2-year-olds.
Yeah, greetings, Ramon from Venezuela. Thanks for joining us again today. All right, everybody, in course, 7 furlongs, inside speed's better than outside speed. Stalkers do well in here. About a quarter of them go wire to wire. That's not been the case in the opening 2 races. So it looks like a competitive start is in order in this race, Terry.
Well, I like.
We're talking about the early speed.
Yeah, I know. I got a little tongue tied there. Yeah, it looks like to me that anybody's got a chance to get there. Look at those speed ratings; they're all pretty high. And then the 3 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 9 to 2. The 7 has an overlay from 9 to 5 to 4 to 1. All of them show par plus and all show C zones.
Yeah, pretty competitive race according to this. Our race shape is going to tell us maybe a little different story. Well, pretty competitive race according to this. 3 and 4 want to be out front, although the 4 and the 2, they are flexible type horses. They don't need to be anywhere on the track. The 2 prefers probably to be middle back. The 4 probably closer to the pace. Let's see. Well, the 4 should be really close to the pace, and here might actually be the pace setter. Doesn't need it. The 3 horse might be the one that goes out front because it might be more lead dependent as an E-type. Closing has been the way to the winner's circle so far today. Right wing runner. That one will be running the quickest at the end, although Crab Daddy, the horse that, probably the SpongeBob inspired name there, has some of the most late speed. Finding our top total pace horses. Very competitive race, it looks like, except for the 8 and the 5, Terry. So maybe go with the top closer in there. That might be the right wing runner. Terry, what do you think?
I like the 7 Global Steve. He won his debut race, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 33% of the non-graded stakes races he has a horse running in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey as well. 10 Crab Daddy is my second choice. Won his last race, and he has the highest last speed rating. 2 right wing runner is my third choice. Has won 2 races in a row, goes for a hat trick, and he has a high percentage winning trainer or jockey. Then Baby Dukes, the 3 is my long shot. Finished third in his last race. His best start speed is fast among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets for me here.
Global Steve, the 7 horse, just needs to improve a little bit in its second career start, and this one, as they say, is a wrap. Crab Daddy won big at this level last time out and did so by running about a second faster than the next closest horse. Fire Pit, the 4 horse. This one is a track dropper and does have a Parx bullet workout. And then number 3, Baby Dukes, was a tough call for me over the right wing runner. But this one might have the most upside in the race and should bounce back in the second start after a layoff. Another one of my $5 exact key boxes with a horse that apparently has an edge over the rest of the field. 7 with the 3, 4, and 10. That takes us to the final race of this day. Once again, Terry, to make sure you don't miss any of the Parx running tomorrow or whatever we decide for New Year's Day. And again, Thursday for Gulfstream Park. Friday for Hong Kong. There's a way to make sure you don't miss any or all of that.
Well, if you're watching today's show and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because it really helps us out. Hit that little bell so you get notified about any of the programs we get coming up. Copy the link below, share it with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. And then if whatever social site you're on today, Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, give us a horse race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like, and then keep these picks on comments coming on our show. We really like to see them. Helps us out a lot with the algorithms.
So the last race of the day, Terry, race number 10, maiden claiming $10,000. How do they qualify?
Okay, it's a 6 furlong race. It's a maiden claiming race, $10,000 claiming price. $19,000 purse for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward.
So pretty much open conditions for these folks to run at one of the lowest levels there are or is at Parx. 6 furlongs. Stalkers do well. 36% of the time you get to the front, you stay there. and you go straight to the winner's circle and collect the winner's check. There is an inside to outside bias. Boy, it seems to be a theme all day. Perhaps it'll finally show itself by the 10th race if the sun stays out, Terry. If the sun stays out and they do go fast, well, it looks like most of the speed is scratched out. So who does that leave?
Yeah, they scratched out the two most fastest horses. So it's really an anyone's guess race, as you can see there. The 5 has an overlay from 7-2 to 5-1. 13 has an overlay 11-1, 15-1. All but the 10 show par plus numbers. And the 6-1, 12, 6-1, 10, and 7 have C zones.
Yeah, and typically we're looking for a C zone of 50% or more, meaning when we did our simulations, 50% of the time or more. So in the case of the 6 horse, 72% of the time, the race matched its best performances. Our race shape in this wide open affair looks like, well, the 1 and 10, today's their first day at the track. The 8 and the 1 and 10, they haven't been within 5 lengths. The 8 and 11 are giving it a go for the first time. The 6, the only one showing any inclination to be forward. 5, 7, and 13 want to close. Typically, horses do win. They're maiden close to the front. If that's the case, well, the 6 horse will probably be there, although the 10 horse will give it a little bit of a challenge to their outside. Jock Nava might have a say. Closing has been the way to win so far. If that's the case, the 5 and the 7, they should blow by these horses at the end and take home the top prize. Of the experienced horses, the top total pace, Terry, pretty tight in here between the 5, 7, 6, and 13. Maybe the 8 or 11 will have a say. What do you say?
I like the 5 time tested drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 50% of the races in the second race after he claims a horse. And then the 6 is my second choice, finished third versus similar in his last race, has a highest speed figure at today's distance. The 8, which is a first-time starter, is my third choice. His dam has 3 winners from 4 starters, and his breeding suits today's distance. Then I like another first-time starter, the 11, Josh, as my long shot. His dam has 7 winners from 8 starters. His breeding suits today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. As I said, I'm out of money, so I can't make any other bets.
The 5 horse tops my list as too, Terry. Much better early speed in its last race, although, yeah, maybe that's not the right choice today. The 11 horse, Josh, my second choice. The top jockey at the track, Mikel Sanchez, on a first-timer, so you got to give this one a chance. Number 8, Celestial Dark, another first-time starter. In fact, it gets a higher rating than the 11 does, and there's really, quite frankly, not a lot to beat in here because some of these horses have run 20 times and still not won. They're learning how to lose. They're not learning how to win. And then finally, I went with the 7 horse in here with an alpha angle, one that wins it more than 15% of the time, according to Barry Meadows in his research in the Skeptical Handicapper. Texas Air Force increased its speed number 3 races in a row. I'll take any alpha angle against this. So 5, 11, 8, and 7 to close it out for me. Here are our picks to start today. In race number 1, the 11 horse took home the top prize. In race number 2, the 1 horse
the 1 took out. The 1 in the first race took the top prize.
I thought the 1 was in race number 2. That the 11 won race number 1.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think it was race 2 where the 1 horse won.
Yeah, you're right.
So the rest of the day looks like this. Just know that so far closers have been the key, especially those horses that can get an outside path out of that turn on the muddy track. So keep an eye out for that trend to continue as the day moves on at Parx. Maybe with the sun out, we'll see the track bias move a little bit more towards speed, and maybe as it dries out, the horses on the inside might be able to hold on. We shall see. We shall see you tomorrow again for Parx, and then on Wednesday, again, we'll make up our mind what we're going to do with that. Thursday, it'll be Gulfstream. Friday, Hong Kong. Terry, any final thoughts from you before we part company today?
Yeah, I hope everybody had a great time with their families on Christmas time, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and just everybody be safe and have a wonderful New Year's, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed. We'll see you tomorrow for Parx. We appreciate you spending your time with us on a muddy Monday at Parx. Of course, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, and as we close out 2024, we hope the rest of 2024 and all of 25 is filled with God's grace, God's favor for you, and that every single one of your upcoming resolutions, Terry, ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed Monday.